Is the presentation is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good afternoon. The title of today's session is AI Tools for Effective Lesson Planning. Before we begin, we'll set the agenda for this today's session. The learning outcome is at the end of the sessions, all the participants will be able to identify the essential tools, AI tools for lesson planning, and how to utilize it to make our existing lesson plan in an effective way. So, this is the agenda of this 90-minute session today. Okay, so before we begin the session, we'll however small interactions that to know where we are now and how we want to progress from the current state to the next stage. So, can you, sir, is it possible to give a chat message here?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, okay. So, dear participants, can you please look into the questions and share your comments in the chat box? Do you write a detailed lesson plan for your course? And do you get a feedback from your lesson plan? And if so, from whom you will get it? And do your lesson always follow your lesson? Is your lesson plan always follow your lesson? Is the question is clear? Can you give your feedback? Probably you can type 1, 2, 3 and give your answer. First question probably yes or no. Second question probably yes. And if it is yes, to whom you'll get it? Okay, by dean. Oh, your dean will give review, feedback of your lessons. Very good. So is all the time your lesson plan follows all the activities? Am I audible? My voice is clear and loud?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I got only 2 response. So you won't provide detailed lesson plan. Okay. Can you tell me is detailed lesson plan is required? If so, when it is required? Now is it okay, sir? John, sir?
Okay, ma'am. It's okay, ma'am.
Okay. So is it so some of you said no detail you won't prepare a lesson plan, right? So if we require a detailed lesson plan, when do we prepare a detailed lesson plan? Probably when we have a new course. For the first time, if we are handling a course, that time we want to be more proactive. So we'll plan all our lessons well in advance so that there won't be any hassle in delivery, right? So maybe that time we'll know. Or if we are a, okay, if we are a fresher, for the first time we are into teaching, so that time also this detailed lesson plan will help us. Or for any teacher training course, to know their understanding, we can ask for a detailed lesson plan. But overall, if we have a detailed lesson plan, it will be better for us to execute the plans effectively, right? But it's not necessary all the time we need to do a detailed lesson plan. For example, if you're taken a course for more than years, okay, so 3 4 times already we have gone through, we have dealt with that particular subject. So in that case, we have a better understanding of how to go with. So that time, the detailed lesson planning may not be required. For the freshers, it is always better to have a detailed lesson plan. And it is also good to have a feedback from not only from the dean, even we can get the feedback from our colleagues, so that we can improve and we can identify the gap and we can overcome it, right? So always we try to act as a reflective practitioner, so that will always help us to grow further. Okay. And can you tell me, answer your honest, I request the honest answer for the third question. Is even if we plan a detailed lesson planning, and if we implement it in a class, do we follow the exact lesson plan what we plan, or is there any changes we may come across during the execution of the lesson plan? Not always. Shami ma'am said not always. Okay. What about others? So Pratibha ma'am will follow always, it will go exactly based on your plan. But as per the research, if we say mostly around 99%, it will not go as per our plan. Why? Because there may be some sudden changes or the glitches, or even if we plan for some ICT tools, sudden online glitches may lead us some of the time change or the plan change. We may planned around 2 or 3 activities or 2 problems to solve in the class. At the end of the class, we might have solved only one problem, probably because of the doubts we received it from the student 10, and we try to overcome or try to clarify all those doubts. So by that time itself, our time will go off. So we cannot plan, whatever we plan to solve 2 problems, it may not happen most of the times, right? So we have to have a backup plan, and we need to calculate. And if suppose our plan doesn't work out, the next immediate day we need to analyze why it is not worked out and where we are not giving the space. Because most of the time we won't consider the transition time. For example, if we want to switch from one tool to the another tool, probably from going from one window to the another window, it may take time. But we won't consider that transition times and all in our plan. So if we consider that transition times and all, then probably we can just uphold our plans in our execution. Okay. So thank you so much for your response. Okay. So as I said, detailed lesson plan, it's not necessary as of now. So whenever we are trying for a new course, or if we are new to this profession, that time the detailed lesson plans will be helpful. So now, can you tell me what are all the key features of an effective lesson and how to execute it? As you all said, you'll do your lesson plan and it also been verified by your dean. So probably you're doing a best practice of preparing a lesson plan. That's good to hear. So, can you tell me what are all the key features of a lesson plan? Later, we'll come to the execution part. What are the highlights or features of a lesson plan you prepare? Can you just put it in the chat box? Or, if possible, anyone can unmute and also you can answer. Is my voice is still feeble or is it okay, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Is it okay? It is okay, ma'am.
Okay. Need to understand by all. By all means, what are the key features or the best key features of a lesson plan? What all the components we'll have in our lesson plan?
Objectives, ma'am.
Very good, ma'am. Learning objectives or learning outcomes. Well said. Okay, that is the very first and the priority thing for a lesson plan. Okay, next,
Taxonomy
taxonomy.
of
Taxo-
how.
oh, which means the cognition level.
Yes.
Okay. So, up to which level we are aiming in for, the lesson aims for, super. And Shami
Yes.
ma'am shared specific learning activities to achieve that particular learning outcome. Very good. The other things, any other things? We have learning objectives, learning activities, and also we have a learning goal, that is the levels at which we are expecting the learners to attain. And after that, how will we check exactly the learners or attain that level or not? So for that, obviously, we will plan for a formative assessment. Or otherwise, we also get a feedback from the learner whether the planned lesson, the lesson activity, it's all in line or not, right? So this we need to execute it. Sometimes we may begin the session with the assessment and later on identifying or gathering the feedback from the learners, what are all the gaps or what are the challenges in achieving the outcome, and then going for a short discussion. Later on the teacher will reinforce or clarify all their doubts, and finally we'll conclude. This is also one way of teaching, right? The another way, usually how we do, we begin with the recap, and then we'll go for some introduction, and later we'll give a small interaction, and then an assignment or explanation of the concept, then giving some kind of activity, as ma'am said, specific learning activity, then checking the learning either through some short MCQs or something like that, and finally recapping or summarizing the learning content either by the teacher or by the student or by both also. Okay, this is how the standard lessons plan or lesson activity we do, right? So now let's see. These are the components of a effective lesson. First and foremost, the teacher has to have a roadmap. That is how we are going to go with. That is the direction. Just how we said, right? Either we can begin with the assessment straight away, or begin with the recap, or giving connecting with the prior information. So we need to lay a roadmap, and after the roadmap, we need to have a clear learning objectives. As ma'am has rightly pointed out, for any lesson, the goals need to be very specific. Uh, Being, since we are all addressing the adult learners, we are in the higher education sector, so adult learners always come with some experiences and some learning expectations, right? So to meet that expectations, always there are two questions will come into their mind, and we need to convince them with their answer. So that answer lies in the learning objective. So we need to answer the two questions, which is what and why. First thing, why I have to learn this content, in what way it is helpful for me, and what I'm going to gain from this, and what I'm going to do it. So if this what and why question is being answered by the teacher, then the students are into the learning content, right? Otherwise they don't show interest, or they won't listen to us, right? So that is what we call it as learning rational and learning outcome. Okay, so for any lesson we need to have a learning rational as well as lesson outcome. Learning rational will tell the purpose of learning the content, and learning outcome will tell what the learner will able to attain after the duration, that is the time duration. If it is for the course, it is called as course learning outcome. If it is for a session, it is called as session learning outcome. It is for the program, we call it as a program learning outcome. So all the time the outcomes are bound with the time factor. So we should not forget the time factor. Probably in few workshops which have come for the face-to-face interaction as well as through online mode, most of the times I repeated the same statements. Now so I'm not hesitate to repeat the sentence. So outcomes, we need to follow the mantra called SMART. The SMART approach need to be followed for writing a learning outcome. So can you remember that SMART? What it is SMART? What's the SMART approach means? Anybody? What is SMART? Yes, ma'am. If you're not able to talk, please type it in the chat box. Smart. Yes, very good, ma'am. Shami, ma'am, thank you so much. Yes for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable or attainable, and R for relevant as well as realistic also. Okay, and T for time bound. So we should not forget the time bound. So based on the time allocated for our session, we need to choose a appropriate content and appropriate learning activity and appropriate assessment method. So as already I used to say, for constructivism, all these, the learning objective, the learning activity and the assessment, all should fall in line. And the learning objective, it need to be for the need of the learner and the that is the level of the learner. Probably if it is an undergraduate student for the first year, means the level will be little less, and for if it is for a third year or final year, the level will be still bigger, but it will be less than the postgraduate student. So as a teacher, or it also depending on the curriculum developers, they all set the correct level of cognition. So we need to follow that cognition level. So the for this only the COPO mapping will be very helpful for us from the curriculum document as well as in the syllabus framing. So based on that, we need to you write our learning objectives and learning rationals. And once this learning objectives, learning goals are set, we need to identify the appropriate activity, learning activity, which engage the learners and also which motivates the learner to take part in it. Because we'll plan an activity, if that is not too much of motivating and engaging, then the plan is failure, right? So we need to identify the engaging task as well as the motivating task. So as a teacher, we need to facilitate. If the students seems to be resistant towards the activity what we are giving, we need to adopt some strategy so that they'll get motivated extrinsically and they have to get engaged. So unless they get engaged with the learning content, learning will not happen. So that we need to formulate it. So for that, we'll be adopt some of the frameworks or the structure. So basically lot of theories available, educational theories available to use the framework to plan our lesson in a systematic way. For example, either we can go for summer model, TPAC model, or ADDIE model, or CDIO model. There are a lot of instructional frameworks available. So depending on the content and the area of learning, we have to choose any one method, and that method we need to adopt to design our lessons. And once if we do it, then automatically the learners will feel the meaningful way of learning the content in a deeper way. That is, if we really want to give a meaningful learning experience, either we can showcase some videos or visual aids, some kinesthetic activities using some tools. So we can use any one of this to make the learning a very deeper way as well as a very impactful and enjoyable way. As game based learning theory also we can adopt to make the lesson lively and engaging and a fun way of learning the content. So this is how we have to plan. So these are all the components we need to keep it in our mind to make our lesson effective. Any queries? Any queries from this slide, or any comments or any thoughts after looking into this content? Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So to follow this, we can follow instructional model. So ADDIE model is analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate model. No slides. Are you not able to see this learning cycle?
Ma'am, the slide is not visible.
Okay. 1 second, sir. Now,
Yes, ma'am. Present it can be visible, ma'am.
before it is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
It's a visible one, ma'am.
okay. So for the effective lesson, we need to have a proper roadmap, and we need to have a clear learning objective, and we need to follow the learning activities, which must be an engaging one. And we also have some scaffolds for the learners and motivating factors for them to engage in the learning content. Then we need to adopt any framework, that is any educational models or frameworks, and we have to create a better learning experience for our learners. So these are the 5 ingredients which makes our lesson plan very effective. Okay. So with this, we are going to do a flexible planning, which we call it as plan, do, check, act. This is evolved from ADDIE model only. So ADDIE is mostly very much helpful for management or project management kind of thing. And again, here for the learning cycle, we can have this PDCA. We call it as PDCA model, which is plan, do, check, active, and act. That is, we'll plan for our lesson and we'll execute it in the class. And after execution, we will collect the data through the monitoring process, either the assessment, the marks of the student, and their feedback, learner feedback, as well as the teacher feedback or mentor feedback. So we'll collect all the feedbacks and we'll correlate everything, and finally identify the gap. And what are all the gaps we have identified, we need to overcome by doing some minor changes or major changes depending on the data what we received. Okay, and that we need to act, and again that need to be reflected in the plan. So it is a cyclic process. This is what we call it as reflective cycle. Or as a teacher, we if we want to develop or excel as a good teacher, then we need to follow this PDCA cycle. Okay. So we'll just elaborate one by one. For a flexible planning, as we rightly know, we need to know the define the objectives of the lessons. We have to have a clarity. So for defining objectives, better to follow Bloom's taxonomy, though it is being developed in 1950s. Till now, it's being very much helpful for the teachers to frame these specific objectives for the learners. Okay, so since we are in the probably in school education, they follow only one dimensional Bloom's taxonomy, whereas in higher education, so we'll be having the knowledge, skill, and attitude. All three aspects are very important, so we can follow three-dimensional Bloom's taxonomy for setting up our goals. Okay, lesson goals or lesson outcomes. And then we are going to assess the current situation. The current situations means, for example, if we are going to plan to use the ICT tools in the class, but our classroom is not a smart classroom, if we don't have a internet connectivity or Wi-Fi connectivity, or there's no system, there's no smart board available. So if that is the case, we could not apply the plan exactly, right? So in that case, we need to analyze how the learning environment should be. For example, if you're planning for a group activity, we need to check whether a classroom allows the uh, flexible seating arrangements. So all these situations we need to assess, and then we need to develop a plan. And we need to identify some assumptions. For example, if you're giving a problem, for the problem, if you're going to give some assumptions, or otherwise for the classroom, if suppose that plan is not working, plan B. So either one we need to have, right? So identify the key assumptions for the plan. So this is, if we identify the assumptions only, then we can make it as a flexible plan. planning, otherwise it will become a rigid one, right? So these are the steps we need to consider. The learning environment, most of the times we are not considering when planning our lesson, but as a teacher, if we really want to make an effective lessons, the learning environment also plays a vital role. And also the study says 15 percentage of the learning impact happens only due to the learning environment. If we create a very conducive and inclusive learning environment, that itself it's promote learning among the learners to 15 percentage. 15 percentage is not really a single some easy number, right? I hope you all agree.
காலேஜ் படிக்கும் போது நேஷனல் செமினார் போட்டேன், கான்ஃபரன்ஸ். அது கூட ஆட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் ரெஸ்யூம்ல.
Yes ma'am.
பண்ணலாமா? நான்
Tejashwi
பண்ணவே இல்லை. சார் வந்து ஒரு செமினாராவது இருக்கணும்.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
sir, am I audible now?
Ma'am. No, ma'am. Now audible, ma'am. Now you are audible, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, sir. So I was explaining whether it was heard by everyone. Till this flexible planning process was clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now then we have planned. Now we have to do right the execution part. So when we are executing, just don't execute as such. We can also create some documentation for further review process, right? For example, either you can request any of your colleague or mentor to observe your class and give the feedback, or otherwise we can collect some survey questions or feedbacks from the learners, and that also can be used for monitoring. Sometimes if you really feels if you're doing out of box, out of that is you're not at all practiced so far in your career and you're going to try it for the first time, better you capture this moment by videos. Hello. Okay, so either you can create the documents. That documents will be very much helpful, either by presenting for your performance evaluation. Also, you can showcase what are the best practices you're doing. So that time also you can showcase. So whenever you plan to do some new techniques or new teaching methods in your class and new tools in your class, better try to capture those moments by taking the video clips or otherwise the feedback from the learners, the pictures, so that and all will be helpful for us to reflect later on. So this is what the plan, execution and monitoring. Okay, execute the plan in your class, monitor the process by means of assessments and surveys and inquiries, and also record it through observations so that it will be helpful for reviewing the later part. Okay, so this is what planning and doing part. And whenever we give some assessments or any activities, don't give them the high stake problem at once. Okay, so you can use either any of this method like flashcards or placemats, videos or visual images, because it's like if for example if you want to climb to 15th floor, you'll take the help of lift or stairs, right? So slowly you'll be crossing one floor, right? It's not possible for us to jump from first floor to the 15th floor. It's not in a constructive way. So we use different strategies like visuals, flashcards and small activities with the helps and clues that will help the learners to move on. And also whenever we plan for some in class activity, kind of think pair share activity, or a pairing or a peer instructions kind of things, we also guide them on the proper selection of language. Because even though if we are planning, if we want to improve the social skills, again the social skills, there are two: interpersonal skill and also the academic language also we need to develop. So whenever we plan for this, since we are addressing the higher education students, so we also teach teach them how to use the language properly in the academic background. Okay, so we need to train them for this also. And the final thing is evaluation part. So after evaluation only we'll find the gap, and that we need to act it in our infuse it in the planning of your lesson, and then again the cycle begins. So we need to evaluate the results, compare the results with the expected values, and analyze the deviations. And based on the deviations, we have to come to conclusions, and also we try to get the feedback from all the stakeholders involved in this teaching learning process, that is from learners, teachers, mentors, colleagues. And based on this we'll find out our evaluation results and we'll implement in our action plan. So the adjustment plan, again we are implementing in the adjust the plan and implement the changes and repeat the cycle. Okay, so this is what we call it as plan, do, check, act cycle. So this is what we are going to follow today for preparing our lesson plan. Okay, so since it's an AI school, I took almost half an hour to explain the concept because it's very, very important to know the theory, and then we have to go for the planning of our lessons, right? So I request all of you to open this link. I'll just post it in the. Just tell me whether you could able to access this link. Do you use any specific tools for preparing a lesson plan? Dear professors, can you hear my question?
No, easy powerful classmate too.
This is Auto Classmate, ma'am. Do you use any specific tools? Is it possible for you to access? One second, I'll share my screen. Is it possible for you to see? I think now my screen is green, so I think it's visible to you all. Are you able to see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is an AI tool which is helpful for the teacher to prepare a lesson plan. Okay. So just click on Explore AI Tools. So it will showcase you all the AI tools which is being hosted by this Auto Classmate platform. Okay. So AI Power Lesson Plan Generator. This is a premium tool, instructional coach, free tool. Activation and engagement activity generator. This is also a free tool. Okay. And a question generator. This is also a free tool. Okay. And lesson plan and activity forecast tool. This is also a free tool. So we can use anything. As of now, our agenda is to prepare a lesson plan. So I'm going to use a AI powered lesson plan generator. So you just click on this use tool now here. Are you able to open this? Did you all get this page? Hello? Have you all got this page? So now we need to select the levels. Okay, so our level is either college level or university level. So you can mention the level. I'll just type or paste university level. Okay, just type university level. I want my student to learn. Probably you have your lesson objective, right? So that lesson objectives you can write here. So I'll just write one lesson objective here. You can also try with your lesson objective parallelly. So problem solving of the given real-time problem using bubble sort. I'm just taking one small course from the data structure from computer science department. Data structure, in that one simple topic is bubble sort. I'm just taking the problem solving of the given real-time problem using bubble sort. Okay, and next is a custom prompting. So whenever we use AI tools, the prompt, you heard about this term called prompt, right? It's very, very important. There are two types of prompts available. Can you tell me what are the two types of prompts, if anyone knows? Hello? Sir, is it visible? Is the screen is visible to you? Is my voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am. Both
Okay.
are clear.
Okay, thank you. So what are the two prompts? One is called user prompt, another one is called system prompt. Have you heard about these terminologies in artificial intelligence, in AI tools? System prompt and user prompt. Whatever the prompt we just gave in the chat GPT or Gemini, it's a user prompt. It's a specific query by the user to the AI tool, right? This is user prompt. So before we set this query, and we have to set a background, right? For example, if I'm just typing a word called uh, ohms, okay, the ohms law, for example, if I'm a triple E faculty, ohms law, I'm just wanted to know about ohms law. Suppose there is a name of medicine which is in the ohms, then if I straight away give ohms, means it will pick the ohms, where are all the ohms is there, all the resources the AI tool will fetch and will give. If I mention I'm a teacher in the electrical and electronics engineering field, and I would teach Ohm's law to my student, then it will pick the content only from the electrical engineering domain, which is relevant to me, not from the generic places. Have you experienced this when we use the Google search or something like that? Anybody? If we didn't give a proper keyword with the connect in the Google search or in the Google prompt or in chat GPT, it will give different area. It won't narrow down, right? If you really want to narrow down, the choice of keywords is very important, right? So to set the system how it has to work for us, because it's just like a robo. So if we give a proper instruction only, it will fetch us the correct details to us, right? So this is what the custom prompting. So custom prompting, you can write whatever your plans and how the lesson timing, everything. Okay, so I have just prepared a set of custom prompting for my lesson. I'll just type one by one. First and foremost, the first point is I need to mention the session timing of my lesson, which is more important because we said the time is very, very important, right? So I just mentioned the session time is 50 minutes. Next, we need to include some uh, what do you call, some kind of warm up activity or any to connect with the prior knowledge or recapping, right? So I just given the second point as include activity to link prior knowledge. Okay, then I need to address my learners with some visual aids. So I'm just thinking of that. So I'm giving the next second custom prompting as provide a video listen to understand the concept easily. So, see, these are the prompts which is coming into my mind to customize the AI to prepare a lesson plan according to my wish, according to my learner end, right? Similarly, you know your learners very better, so you better try, and you being the subject expert, you may try to require or write the required system prompts, right? So that you can list out A, B, C, D like this. And the next is I just want to create some interactions among the students. So I'm just provide an interaction for deep understanding of the concept via pairing activity or like a think pair share activity. Okay. The next, now I have set the uh, space, and also the route is being clear now. And now I want them to practice with the lesson content. So I just request the AI tool to provide a learning practice problem with the some simulation tool, because inclusivity is very important, and addressing differentiated learning is also very important. All the learners will not be an auditory learner, or will not be a visual learner, will not be a kinesthetic learner, right? So the blend of students only we expect, the diverse kind of learners only sitting in our class. So we need to provide the opportunity for all the type of learners in our class. That's why I requested some kind of visual, audio visual thing. And also I requested some interaction, some kind of interactions for the learner, and also some real time activities, some doing activity, to address the kinesthetic learners. So the next part is I want to monitor whether the learners learn the content or not. So I would like to add some formative assessment also for my class. So I'm just include a formative assessment to monitor the learning process. And once it has been done, we would like to wrap up with the summary, right? So for that also, I've just given lesson summary activity by students. Then we need to collect the feedback, because we are doing the plan, do, check, act cycle, right? PDCA cycle. So there, the end is the evaluation. After evaluation, feedback is very important. So I'm just adding one line to provide exit ticket activity to get learner feedback. And after that, we also set a continuous learning path for our learner to just maintain the rapport, right? So for that, I'm requesting a lesson containing activity for further learning process. So this is what the requirement as a teacher to design my class. Okay. So I've said this, all those things. Probably if you want, I will just add these in the chat box. One second. Now is it clear? So probably if you want, you can copy all the custom prompting from the chat box and paste it in the custom prompting. Are you able to get that custom prompting? Is it clear? Any doubts? Is my screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Okay. So will it be possible for you to copy the custom prompting from the chat box? So this is I have listed. If you want, you can customize it. And we have to mention the content area. The content area is, you can give your own choice of topic. Here I've given the learning as a bubble sort. You can choose your own topic and your own content area. That is probably the data structures algorithm in computer science. to get the precise output we are doing. And the state, our state is Tamil Nadu, so I'm just mentioning Tamil Nadu. And standards alignment. So we'll just go with the International Society for Technology and Education Standards. And we need to have a lesson plan title. The lesson plan title, maybe we can give bubble sort. That is our bubble sort is our topic of the lesson, right? So once if you provide everything, just click on generate. Is it clear? Is anybody generated a lesson? Is anybody generated a lesson using this auto class mat? Now the AI has generated a lesson plan for us. See, the lesson plan is problem solving using bubble sort. The course name is data structure. Target audience, CSE students. Session duration is 50 minutes. The learning objective, the learner will able to solve real-time problems using bubble sort algorithm. We just gave how we gave problem solving with bubble sort. For the given real-time problem only we just gave. But it has given a correct thing, right? Materials needed also, the resources needed. Whiteboard markers, computer with ID environment, and internet access, access to simulation tools. It is also suggested the simulation tool, visualgo.net. Any CSE faculty here? Did you use this visualgo.net? Hello? And printed worksheets for group activities, exit ticket templates also available. And linking the prior knowledge, just begin with a brief recap of sorting algorithm, focusing on comparison with study, selection sort and insertion sort. Ask question, can anyone explain with sorting? So it also gives a small question. And video lesson for bubble sort, the suggested link is also given here. So if you click on that, the link will open. After watching, sorry.
You are
Okay.
Brahmin.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and it is given an activity called paired interaction activity for deep understanding. So how we have to go with the timing also it has been given. What are the questions being asked? And guided planning for using simulation tool using Visual GoNet. They have given the steps to follow. Okay, and also the formative assessment. 5 minutes quiz on the same content. You just check whether this is aligned with you can also mention if you want the exact questions, then also mention the Bloom's level. If we provide the goal very precisely, then the questions also will be aligned with that. Since I just gave problem solving, it is giving some questions like this. And lesson summary, ask the question, steps for the bubble sorting algorithm, mostly how it is being utilized in real-time applications. And exit ticket, it is asking for an exit ticket. So hand out exit tickets that include one thing I learned from the today's session and one thing I still have to learn, and collect the exit ticket. And for further learning opportunity, it is given a question that provide resources for further direct students to additional readings on videos and encourage students for extra thing. And an assessment is monitor student engagement throughout the discussions, and so it has given us a plan, a fair plan to go with, right? Or we can also request the student to do some specific activity kind of thing. For example, ask the students to do a research of comparing bubble sort with another sorting algorithm also. So any kind of different activities also we can plan for as a homework. We will post it at the end to ensure continuous learning up the class. This is one way of creating a lesson plan. Will it be useful? Have you used such kind of lesson plan already? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, it is very useful.
So I think, sir, we have time, right, sir? Shall I go with one another AI tool?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're having time.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm. Ma'am, you are not audible.
I'm not talking, sir. Now is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Okay. So the next tool is called EduAid. Anybody knows about this tool already? Probably I might have told you also. There are a lot of options and the features has been enhanced right now. One second, please. I'll just post the link in the chat box. Uh, are you able to access this link? Are you able to access this link? Just type eduaid.ai. You'll get this link. Right? Eduaid for free. You can log in. You'll get this page. Are you all able to get it? Okay. John sir, you're given auto classmate tool. That is one tool for creating a lesson plan. This is for a simple lesson plan. For the beginner, it will be very much helpful. And if you still want to explore more, and if you want to have inclusive teaching in your class, and if you want to practice differentiated learning in our classroom, then this tool, the ZY tool, is very, very helpful for the teachers. Is the screen is visible? You can see there are a lot of options lot of tools available for us to utilize effectively in our class planning. We can also create presentations, and we can also create some activities, practice works from this tool. And we also plan for some group activities. Also, we can plan game-based learning here, and we can also provide discussions and deep questions we can create using this. And also, we can plan for our assessments, feedback mechanism also we can get it, and also we can administer the entire class via different activities. Okay, so these are the options, or these are the features which is being provided by this Eduwide AI tool. Okay, so now we'll go with the planning. So I request you to just open your syllabus and just copy one lesson content alone, the lesson unit. For example, I have
இல்லைன்னா 3 அப்ளிகேஷனை காணும் சார்.
Brinda ma'am. Can you please open any one of the uh, one second. So I'll just since we are talking about bubble sort or data structure, so I've downloaded a lesson from syllabus from your university. For example, unit 2, divide and conquer rule, where the sorting has come. So I'm just taking that particular unit. Probably I'll just share. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Taken a syllabus from your university for the computer science engineering, and the course is what design and analysis of algorithms. Since we are talking about, so here it is mentioned, they have given as a paragraph, and they mentioned that within 9 hours we need to complete, right? And we may not be knowing the learners previous knowledge and how we have to go with. Most of the times we may use at least 12 13 hours to complete first unit, and second unit also around 13 12 13 hours, and final fifth unit we may finish it off in 3 or 4 hours itself, 4 session itself. Do we do this? Are we practicing like this, or we spend exactly 9 hours for every unit? Initially, to set the pace, we'll go very slowly with a slow pitch, and slowly, when it picks up, we will be increasing. See, here for iterative improvement, there were only two, 1.5 lines, not even 1.5 lines, right? But 9 hours. So, which means the depth is very high here, and how to go about with this. So, this is not very clear for the teacher who is handling this course for the first time, right? Do you get this sort of doubt when we are planning for the lesson very first time? Any feedbacks or any inputs? Here we'll get simplex method, one class, maximum flow problem, two classes, here two classes, here two classes also, 2 4 8, 8 plus 1 9 hours, like that we will split roughly, right? But if we really want to go in deep, this particular tool will be helpful for us in actually sorting our lessons. One second. So here in planning, you can see here engagement activities, lesson seed, prior knowledge and scaffolding, assessment measures, backward design, differentiated instruction assistance, evidence statements, learning objectives and success criteria, lesson plan 5 E's, lesson plan diagnose 9 event, Montessori lesson plan or project based lesson plan. If we want our entire course or entire subject using project based learning, this particular planner will be very helpful and spark from the lesson social emotional learning. Like if we are teaching universal human values or something like that, this social emotional learning integrated planner will be working very well for us. And this is our unit plan, right? So now we are going to do this unit plan first here. So we'll click on this unit plan and here we'll type. And for this unit, here the learning outcomes are not mentioned, right? Up to which learning level we are aiming in for from the Bloom's, whether we are aiming in for apply level, analyze level, or evaluate level, that is not mentioned. So here, if you want, we can mention. This is the prompt area, user prompt area. Either we can include the document or the website link or the topic. So now we are going to give the topic and we are going to type it here. I would like to, or suggest me. This is the user prompt area we have to give. Is this is visible? Is this window is visible for Edu8?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Just type your query over here. Copy your lesson from the syllabus. Copy the entire unit, and here you can write the prompt as suggest me the lesson plan, or otherwise we can write it as I would like to teach we can mention the course name, that is design of algorithms, course for example BTech CSE student, right? BTech CSE, if it is in the third semester, third sem student we can write. So the more we give the prompt perfectly, third semester students on the following content in how many sessions? 9 sessions. 9 sessions, each with 50 minutes duration, right? The lesson aims to attain the level of, say, suppose analyze level, because third semester student, right? Apply and analyze level. Level of apply and analyze on these contents. Suggest me the lesson plan with proper with appropriate, okay? Learning outcomes, learning activities, assessment, formative assessment, after formative assessment, what we require? Tools, video, links for easy understanding, continuous learning activity. Let us see. Now you paste the entire content here, and here you select the grade as university level, post-secondary, college level students. Okay, select the college level students grade here, and if you'd like to enhance your content, you can enhance, or otherwise you can generate. You can click on enhance, it will enhance your so it has enhanced the thing. Okay, and if you click on generate, see, if you practice, it will be good. If you play, your students will also play like this only. Have you tried this tool already? Durga ma'am? Okay, so we can see here the goals, learning objectives. Any doubts, ma'am? So it is given the prior knowledge assessments, the learning plans. For the session 1, it's introduction to brute force and algorithm design. And the understanding level, it has been written because the very first class, it's an understand level. And the key vocabulary, the materials required, how the instruction sequences, it's been given here. And the closure is also given. Discuss the brute force compared to other strategies, previewing the closed pair problem for the next session. Okay, there is a continuing lead also, it's being given here. For the session 2, the learning outcome and the materials, so everything it's been given here. So likewise, the entire unit is being split into 9 sessions. So this is the first step. Right? So now we got 9 sessions of the content. We can take either one session of the content and we can do lesson planning. So the lesson plan, either we can go for 9 events of instructions, or otherwise we can just give lesson seed. Here there is an option called lesson seed, right? Here we can click on this lesson seed and we need to provide this lesson seed. For example, I want to teach binary search and Startian matrix multiplication, and these are the intended learning outcomes, right? And just copy this till this, and here in the lesson seed you can give. You can paste it here and you can click on generate because we have clicked on lesson seed, right? Now it will generate a lesson, detailed lesson plan here. You got it, right? Lesson seed for binary search. So what are the Bloom's level? What are the keys we can use it? What are the prior knowledge cue set? What are the questions we can ask? What are the discussion prompts? Direct instructions, what role we have to teach them. For student practice problem, independent activities, what we need to give. For collaborative activities, what we need. They're using two things. One is think, pair, share activity. Another one is group coding challenge. The previous lesson plan, the unit plan, we didn't get the entire detailed planning, like how we got it from the auto classmate, right? So here, first we have given the entire syllabus, the entire unit content for the unit plan, and we got the sessions. And after the sessions, we copied that particular lesson sheet into the lesson sheet, and it has given the formative assessment methods. From this, we can choose whichever is relevant and whichever is convenient, we can customize this. And it gives for 52 minutes, right? How the 52 minutes is being split over here. And here we can do adjust, but because ours is only 50 minutes, then we can adjust here and there. The guided practice, they have allotted 20 minutes. New material sharing, the content what is being taught by the teacher is only 10 minutes. The rest of the 40 minutes activity is only for students. Are you able to see the reviewing activity? Students are engaged. Only the new material, new introduction. This 10 minutes only teacher is giving a direct instruction to the student. The guided practice, formative assessment, closer transition, all the time the students are actively engaged. So you can see almost in the 40 minutes of time, 30 minutes, the learners are engaged completely, and the teacher's role is to facilitate, and the passive listening time for the learner is only 10 minutes here, right? So this is how a lesson plan must be. Lesson plan need to be more time need to be given for the learning opportunity or the learning practice for the student, and the teacher's direct interaction or didactic mode of teaching or the lecturing should be very, very minimal. Okay, just to reinforce the concept or giving the instructions, that time only the teacher can play a role. Otherwise, the teacher will just facilitate the activity. Okay, is this clear so far? See, unless otherwise you practice parallelly, you'll get bored. And since it's being an online class, I'm not having an opportunity to see your content also. So if you could share the message which you generated in the chat box, it will be visible for me to evaluate whether you are actually doing or not. Can you please share your lesson content generated in the chat box? So far we did two things, right? One is unit plan, then lesson sheet. Can anyone share your lesson sheet? One of you share your unit plan. Just copy paste it. You can copy the content. Or you can export as a Word file also. So you can just copy to clipboard, means you can paste it here. So I have pasted now here in the group.
சரி ஓகே
Okay, shall we move on? If there is no query here, can we move on to the next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now the planning is over. Engagement activities also similarly. Take any one activity and you can go for engagement activity. That is, for example, for guided practice alone. Just mention what you're going to teach now, and then mention you want to evaluate the level. The activity what you're planning it for group coding challenge. So I'm just copying. You can enhance this and then you can click on generate. It will generate the engagement activities. Okay, so it is suggesting 5 different activities for engagement. We can choose whichever it's easy for us or whichever is convincing for us. We can adopt any one from here. Okay. And deep question, the applied scenario based experiment, and also it is given some riddles you can ask at the end as a riddle. Okay, as a fun based way of assessment. Got it? So this is for planning. Presenting part I'm not going right now, and you can also go for a game based learning. I'm just going in for game based learning, right? 4 corners. There are a lot of bingo style, Jeopardy style, quizzes, 4 corners, battleship style, escape room activity. Escape room activity nowadays very famous. Quest based, review games, stand up, sit down, this or that, tic tac toe, timeline game, word search. Probably word search, few of you are knowing. So probably we can go for Jeopardy style or bingo style. Okay. So for the same thing, if we want to generate the Jeopardy style of assessment, or it will generate. Got it? So we can just copy this and paste it in our PPT, and we can split the entire class into small groups or teams, and we can play this game, and the learners can choose whichever category they're going in for different options. The answer key is also with us, and this answer key teacher we can keep it for evaluation, and we can just showcase this table in the screen like a flashcard, and after that we can do this. Okay, so any queries? I hope you can explore these 2 tools for doing your lesson planning. Any queries, sir?
No, ma'am.
So one kind suggestion is since all the tools are machine based, right? So just don't rely on the things which the AI is given. as a human expert, subject expert, just go through the content and find out the authenticity of the content, and then you can use it in your customize it if you want, and then you can use it in your classroom. So if you have any queries in using these two tools, you can ask me, I can help you. Can you please generate any of these thing and you can share it in the WhatsApp group, this chat box, so that if you find any difficulties, I can help you out. Otherwise, if I'm just giving something and showcasing, it will not be helpful for you to learn. Just seeing and copying will not be developed or will not enhance the learning, right? So if you have any queries in using these two
Participants, if you
tools,
have any queries, kindly post it in chat box. Otherwise, you can ask it, unmute and ask your question.
can go for group activity. I hope you all know about Jigsaw activity, right? For the same problem, same thing, if you want to run it as a Jigsaw method, that also it will create. It is giving the topics. So whichever method you would like to adopt, you can go with it and you can use it. Any queries, sir?
No, ma'am.
Not only related to this tool, even related to the lesson planning. If you have any doubt, you can ask me, I can answer. Writing prompt is very, very important. Probably if time permits, I can showcase one prompting tool. Hopefully you may know about it, but you can use AI prompt generators, and from the AI prompt generators also, you can just copy paste here and you can do the work done through these tools. Probably I can share the tool names. This originality AI prompt generator will be really helpful for creating prompt generator. And you have one more prompt generator called Neural Writer, ChatGPT prompt generator. So you can either use these two prompt generating tool for creating the prompt properly, and then you can copy the generated prompt into the tool and you can generate the content accordingly. If you don't know how to ask the exact question to the AI, you can use these two tools for generating the prompts and you can use it. So any queries, sir?
No, ma'am.
For example, I'll just showcase since the time. You can just check the same prompt is being given in two AIs. Click on generate, how it generates. You can check, and based on the two things, you can customize it. Then we can use it for this. Okay, they are asking for feedback link. So you can see here, using the ChatGPT prompt, the prompt generated is very less, right? Just collaborate with peers to optimize. It is simply given. Whereas you check in the originality AI, it has provided detailed discussion, right? So probably if we copy this entire thing, because the prompt matters a lot. Here I'm just deleting this and I'm pasting here, and I'm clicking on generate. You can see the difference and how the question and how the activities is being created using this prompt. You can see the difference. See how it is being, expert group is being splitted, what are the topics. The detailed things, assessment and applications also, it has been given, high quality formatting, the timeline, the sources also it's been given. So you can see the difference between the two. Here you get the far more better and detailed planning here compared to the one which is being used, the prompt which is being used prior to this, right? So this is the difference, and how effectively we can use the AI tool. It's completely based on the prompts which we provided. So if there is no query, we can wind up, sir. Only if you use it, you'll get a query. By just looking into this, you won't get any queries.
Hey, participants, if you have any questions, kindly post it in chat box. Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So, dear all, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our management for providing this opportunity, and my special thanks to our speaker, Dr. Janagi, ma'am, for sharing his valuable insight. I thank all the participants for their active engagement. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I'll be very
Thank you.
happy if you could use this tool for the better lesson
Yes, ma'am.
planning.
I share that
Yes.
YouTube link also in the group, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Kindly check it.
Shall I quit, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.